We plan again.
Sure.
Oh no, no, that's not smart today. It's smart today.
No, it's DJ Walter. He came here. I think you were here.
No,
Yes.
maybe.
Hmm.
Oh my baby, your love is for it. Love is for it. Give me love, you no good to me. You see your body carry something. Understand? I must confess, your body very offensive. This got my defense, defense, oh. I must confess, your big body now my objective. They're giving me problems, problems, eh. My darling, would you fly with me? International, you go there with me for flight. Honey, would you stay with me? As I know no man, you go there with me for life. Honey, because she did do me magic. Your body now I hate this slow like traffic. This is your body, oh, it is high like mommy, oh. Oh my leg, yo, don't go do me con yo. If not face you really Anna, and your body not palapa, wala. I want to with you, Lisa. I must confess, but you very offensive. My defense, yo. I must confess, your big body now my objective. They giving me problems, my darling, would you fly with me? International, you go there with me for flight. Honey, would you stay with me? As I know no man, you go there with me for life.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, live on TikTok, YouTube, X, Facebook. Thank you so much for joining me here this beautiful afternoon on the 254 on the best radio station in Africa, the Black Hot Fine Network, where I basically talk about uplifting, empowering, amazing conversation about the African history, identity in regards to who you are, because you know what? You are the change you're going to see in the world. Appreciate everybody here on TikTok, Cleopa's Tinkler. I can also see Cleopa's So Winter. Thank you so much for joining me here on TikTok. Remember to share this live and invite more people to listen in regards to this conversation today. And the topic is a new and better Africa. And how can that be achieved? Thank you so much. I hope you all had a beautiful, amazing weekend. It's always about believing in yourself, that you are the greatest, that you're capable, and never allow anybody to tell you otherwise or put you down. Because you know what, as I always say, you're the change you need to see in the world. And the topic of the day again, it's a new and better Africa. Today I have amazing guests with me in regards to talking about a new and better Africa. And how can that be achieved? The systems, the steps, the strategy, their opinion in regards to these protests, their opinion in regards to the cabinets here that were basically hired and rehired or fired and also hired again by the president. And basically, the protest for tomorrow, if they're very confident about it. But thank you so much for joining me. It's your host, the lovely Iriton. Always excited to be here to talk about everything that's happening here in the 254. And I'm going to start today with a beautiful, amazing, motivating video in regards to what's happening before we start the show right away.
And to all of you watching here, come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. You better love what you see. And to all of you watching here, come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. You better love what you see. And to all of you
That's what's up in regards to basically understanding you are the change you're to see in the world. If you know who you are, you don't need people to love you, respect you, understanding you're bringing impact. Have confidence in who you are, what you're bringing to the table. And people try to bring you down, but always have so much belief in yourself and your potential because you're the first or your first encouragement in regards to the dreams and the goals that you have. And today, I want our guests to introduce themselves and as we start the show, good morning. How are you doing? Good afternoon. Sorry. I can hear you. I cannot hear you. I can hear you. Okay. Just communicate to him that I cannot hear them at all. But I have a guest today who was eager to come talking about the anger that they have with this government and basically their take on this. And also, they're deciding to go to the protest tomorrow. So let's see and listening in regards to what they're saying. Hello, Walter. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you at all.
Probably had to tell me to go out and come back in.
Hi.
Oh,
Oh, there
there.
you go.
And
There you go.
welcome, Keith.
Oh,
To let
nah, I'm sorry for that.
you're fine. Introduce yourself to
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. That's X, and TikTok. Also, we have Joseph General Mosquito. Welcome.
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? My name is Walter Juma, but on my social platforms, I'm known as Marcoms Production on Instagram, Marcoms Walter on Facebook, Marcoms Production on YouTube, Marcoms Production on X.
Okay,
Uh, Basically, it's just Marcoms Production. You just go search what Marcoms does, you'll get to know who I am.
that's what's up. How have you been? The last time you came to the studio.
I've been good,
Mm-hmm.
trying to fight for the freedom of the country and
Okay.
reshaping the state of the nation.
Mm-hmm. I remember the day I reposted about the fact that the church is not really talking about the first protest that we had. And you actually sent you replied to my story and you're like, they actually talked about it. But I was like, where are we not seeing this? We did not see this on the news. We did not see this anywhere. But you sent me a letter that the bishop or the head of the church talked about the protest because we didn't it
Yes,
was
yes,
not
yes, yes.
really
Now,
televised in the media.
okay, now I'm very close to the media team on the Catholic side, and
Okay.
whatever the bishops and the priests say,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bit of yes. Have you ever been in that moment that you want to do something, but at the same time you don't want to be seen doing it? So you're supposed to balance. Yes, you're doing yes, as in the church
This
is
is
at the
in
middle. It
regards
is
to the
trying to
church. You're talking about in regards to the church.
yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. They are
But
in the middle. They don't. They yes, they do support the
during
protest
the
and everything.
campaign, they were everywhere in regards to the president being elected. They were everywhere in the news. We were talking about the church supporting him. Let's vote for him. But now you're saying the fact that I also was asking where is the church? We really need them. during the protest to basically give their opinion in regards to the protest, but you told me they only gave a letter or sent a letter, which you were saying it was gazetted, but you're like, a lot of people don't really read the gazette nowadays. But why should they be balanced right now? They should actually really voice their opinion now, as they were voicing at the time they were electing Mr. President.
Uh, you see, it's a one thing for sure. I'll tell you, is for sure. It's when they are very vocal. I can tell for sure, because even during the weekend where I went, the priest that was preaching gave touched on the ongoing protest, and
Okay.
he was in support of it, but also he was making us think what next for our actions. I don't know if you get my point. As in, we are trying to, yes, fight for our rights, fight for better country, better state, better governance, but what next? As in, what is the solution? What is the way forward after this? After the protest, what are we doing? So from what I got from the last weekend, the previous weekend, that is, they do support us because they are part of the citizens. I can't lie. The priests are also citizens. They're also humans. They're not leaders in the government. So they also feel they also feel being oppressed. So they do love whatever we are doing, but they are there to some extent. I can say ni wale watu wenye wanakisha moto, the inciters, but they're
Mm-hmm.
nowhere to be seen during the strike. I don't know if you have ever seen a strike in high school. There are
Mm-hmm.
people who incite people, and then they're nowhere to be seen, and then there are people who take action. So I would rather say they're kind of the people who, yes, they give us the momentum, the fire to go,
Okay.
but they're not there. But behind the scene, they are there.
Okay, got it. Got it. Digressing from that, let's talk about your take in regards to a better government and also the protest for tomorrow. Because you said it was in your to-do list to go to the protest tomorrow, and why are you actually pushing for a better government by protesting? And also in
Uh,
regards to the cabinet secretaries that were rehired after being fired.
Now let me tackle one point at a time. In regards to let's take one step at a time. In regards to tomorrow's protest, for sure, most of the Gen Zs, most of the young generation, yes, they would have gone to the demonstrations, but it wouldn't have. I'm sure, from the way I can see things on the ground, it will not have gone to the extent that is going to go tomorrow, because whatever the president spoke yesterday, it triggered everybody. We never expected him to throw such words in public, in fact, in front of the church. And then he came and repeated the same thing while he was addressing the audience. So
Mm-hmm.
it will take us back to square one. We don't want any political leader to in charge to even to speak. You come pray, go home. We don't want you
Okay.
to give us whatever, all that kind of crap. We don't want it. So whatever the president spoke yesterday, trust me for sure, it has ignited a lot of fire. He has
Okay.
added he has added a lot of firewood into the fire
Mm-hmm.
that he might not even control it. It might be worse. I can tell you for sure. You see,
Tomorrow.
yes. It will be worse because from whatever he spoke, he gave us a threat. It's like you dare me, uh, I'm going to beat you, and I'm in my anger mood. Definitely, I'll be triggered to fight back. So
Okay.
definitely, right now, the younger generations are much more angry and disappointed based on whatever he spoke. Now,
Mm-hmm.
people were disappointed with him, with his cabinet that he had
Hired.
selected back. Yes. We- Okay, fine. Let me say. I saw a comment. There's a post I saw, a meme. The
Okay.
the president is a good. What? Let me friend. The president loves the environment because he recycles the waste materials. For
Okay.
so the environment means the government, The waste materials means the cabinet. So he
Okay.
throws away the trash, but again he recycles it back. So definitely he did nothing. Like literally, based on whatever we are expecting, he did nothing. And let's go back to the cabinet secretaries that he selected, that he wanted
Yeah.
them to go back into the government.
Yeah.
They all have a dent, and that's
Okay.
what we don't want. As in,
Right.
we gave out a clear instruction that you are going to fire all your cabinet secretaries.
Right.
He did that. Check. Now, the next step, we want you, when you're going to reappoint cabinet secretaries, let them come clean. We don't want people who have graft cases. We don't want
Hmm.
people who have fraud cases. We don't want people who are they as in they don't we don't know where they get their wealth.
Yeah.
Who came mysteriously. Someone like me just comes into the government. The next 2 years, I'm driving two Range Rovers and I'm having a
Yeah.
plot in Chikuturu and Karen. It doesn't make sense.
That's a
And the
fact.
people that he reappointed, basically from whatever. You see, the one thing with the internet, it never lies and it never forgets.
Yeah.
And one thing that we humans tend to have, we normally, whenever I do have a progress in life, I'll post it. I'll take a picture. I post it.
Hmm.
Once you post whatever you do, I'll
Yeah.
come back one day and I'll weigh you from whatever
It's a
you
fact.
posted from your background. Yeah, from your background. So
Yeah.
whatever he appointed, the 11 cabinet secretaries, ah, for
You're not in
me,
agreement at all.
I'm not in agreement with it. I'm totally disappointed in it.
Right. I believe the movement was expecting like new faces on the cabinet.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. You see, basically, well, from the word go, we never.
Hmm.
Okay, fine. We know. Okay, fine. Let's say this. Yeah, the president is not bad,
Are you sure?
but the people around the president are the ones who are misleading him.
Are you sure about that?
Let's say we can take from that point
Oh,
of
just say
angle.
he's not bad. Let's go back to that. Why do you say the president is not bad? Are you sure about that? Honestly,
He's a bit scared, for
before
sure.
this, maybe I was not into politics a lot, but I've seen Ruto even before he was elected. I used to hear a lot of like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my mother people who were like he told they were talking about Ruto and they said he's gonna be like we're gonna have like the Moi era. That's what
True.
they were
Now,
saying even before he was elected.
let me support my point. Huh?
Yeah.
Him being a president, however much he's good or bad, the people who are supposed to guide him, it's the people in government, the cabinet secretaries who are supposed to guide him on what to do or what not to do. I don't know if you get my point.
I believe Mr. President, regardless of the people, even the guys who are saying advisors, I feel like he's somebody, regardless, he will do whatever he wants to do.
That's Ruto. We can't lie.
Yeah,
That's Ruto.
that's
At the
how
end
I
of the
see
day,
it.
you will advise him, but at the end of the day, he's going to do whatever he wants to. He wants whatever is in his mind.
Or what
He's
he's
going.
been
You're
told to
going to
do.
give him. Yes, you're going to give him a speech. 2 days later, he's going to give out his own speech.
That's a
You'll,
fact.
you'll, yeah, the press were going to write him a speech. You go read this
Yeah,
to the press and the citizens. After 2 days, you're going to see him reading his own speech. And reading
yeah.
his own speech, it's like whatever he uttered yesterday. Yesterday, we was just summoned like, yo, come and say hi to the people and thank you. And that's all. But he ended up giving up his own speech. Like he's already fed up with
From
us.
from the heart, right? I think he's just been pretending the whole time. Remember the fast conference dialogue that he gave after the partisan guys had lost their life? He called us like treasoners and criminals. Then after a few, like the next day, he was all nice and called us the sons and daughters of the soil because I believe a lot happened in between those hours. And then now after he fired the cabinets and also elected the cabinets again that he fired. And then this speech, it basically shows his true colors. But it's actually not a shock for people who really know him because we know how Mr. President is even before he was elected as a president.
True. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And what I can say for sure, it's that we don't know the reason as to why we are protesting, and I hope it reaches
Yeah.
Mr. President. Let me give me a moment. Let me address this to Mr. President.
Oh,
Let me know.
okay.
Let me, Mr. President. Let me not call you Baba Charlie, wherever you are. I hope you're listening to me. I hope this gets to you, straight to you. You asked
Okay.
whatever we want, as in why are we demonstrating? Why are we on the streets every day? You're very lucky. We are going on streets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It will be worse if we go on streets daily. Like, remember, we are fighting for our own freedom. You can't oppress us and we keep quiet. Now, what do we want? We want a new governance, as in, we want a proper system. We want people who are competent, who know whatever they are doing in that seat. You can't select me as I'm a media personality, but you can't, because I have a doctorate in PhD. I have a PhD doctorate. Does not make me have the qualifications of being a doctor. I have no clue whatever is going on. So we need people who know whatever they are doing in that seat, in that position. We need people who are working. We
Right.
want people who are accountable of whatever each and every action they are going to do. Like it's so funny. You are saying that there was a moment, some time back, the president said that he if he knows whatever is happening in someone's ministry, and the cabinet secretary does not know whatever is happening, it means there's something wrong. That's whatever we are trying to mean. Kick out everybody. Select people from their own docket. The Minister of Health, we need someone who is on the ground, from the ground, like literally. Someone who understands whatever the doctors need. Someone who understands whatever the patients need, how the medical industry should be. We need someone, if it's a cabinet secretary for interior, someone who has a history about the military, about the state of the nation, about security, about that kind of shit. About agriculture, we need somebody who has that kind of docket. But don't give us somebody who has let's say, tunasema fununu,
Yeah.
someone who has no idea of whatever is going on, but atakuja kufunzwa kazi kwa kiti. We don't need people to come and learn work, whatever they're coming to do
Mm-hmm.
there. We need people who know whatever is from, as in people who know whatever is going on, as in people who
Yeah.
know from the scratch where the root problem is to
Right.
the higher level. So
Yeah.
whatever you appointed, we don't need it. That's whatever we want. Coming, and we are glad you fired everybody, but now we are disappointed in you because you reassessed. Actually, out of 11, you gave back 6 people back. Like,
Yeah.
what was the need of you firing them? You could have just said,
I
out of the
know.
2 people who are in my cabinet,
Yeah.
I need these people gone, and I leave these people remained here. Like, it doesn't make sense. Now, let me ask a question.
Okay.
Now that they were fired, if you want to know the government, it's funny. Now that they were
Mhm.
fired, they're supposed to receive a whooping 2.5 million based on their contract.
Okay.
Like Murkomen is supposed to be receiving 2.5 million because they terminated his contract before
Mm-hmm.
the end of the financial year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the ones who are fired the previous time, are they going to receive the 2.5 million and yet they're being reinstated? The wameregeshwa kazi tena. Does it make
Mm.
sense? Doesn't make sense.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we need a proper governance. Like, we need something that is there, structure, a proper structure. Give us a way forward. We
Mm.
don't want to be in that seat, but we need people. You give us people who can do what? Who can
Deliver.
work.
Yeah.
Yes. We were very happy you are clearing your cabinet. We needed you. After cabinet, you go to the PS. After PS,
Yeah.
we are trying to shape the country. We are trying to
Yeah.
better up the country. It's not for our own good, but also for his own good. Because at the end of the day, once you do a
But
good
I
job,
don't really think people really care about him like that because he's been
once
playing a
you,
fool.
yeah, he's been playing a fool of us. Like,
Yeah.
tumepanga mikakati kwamba in the next 5 years mtakuwa na free education. Nimeongea na cabinet secretary of sports Ababu na Mwamba, hapa kiwanja inakuja kusimamishwa after
Is that
2
an
days.
accent?
Like, like that's crap. We don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We need something that less talking, more action. And the
Mm-hmm.
people that are there, that they keep on talking and talking, including him. He talks and talks and talks. We don't need people who talk. We need people who act. That's the point.
I agree with you. I agree. We
So
have some comments here. General Mosquito, thank you for joining us. He's saying Ruto's back is against the wall, no criminal records, and they must all have background checks in regards to appointing new leaders in such position. And also, he's saying Ruto is not bad. Yeah, right. And I'm still a virgin. If Ruto is not bad, you want real leaders, not rulers. Good brother. That's what General Mosquito is saying. Thank you, Dennis. Ray Classic, Andrew Mugone, Kevin Miles for joining us here live on TikTok. The topic of the day on Let's Walk with Everton is a new Africa, new and better African. How can we definitely have that? And my guest for the day is Walter Juma, giving us his opinion in regards to the movement that is happening right now. You can go ahead, Walter.
wow. Let me go back on the point that someone has just said if Ruto is not bad, then she's a virgin. Wow.
He's a virgin. General Mosquito said that.
Big shout out, bro. I salute you.
Okay.
But basically, whatever I'm trying to mean is very simple. Let's get proper system. As in, we want a proper system. You cannot do whatever. We don't want you to do whatever we are saying, but we need the president to clear up whatever the messes. As in, he wants. We want a clear system. If there
Yeah.
was a if there was the best time I enjoyed being as a citizen, however much I was a still young boy,
Hmm.
it was during the era of Kibaki.
Okay.
After that, I have never seen any other governance than him. Yeah, he made a record, and I don't know if there's any other president who's going to make a record like that.
Right.
Based on whatever I'm seeing from Ruto, I'm not. There's no hopes. You
Do you
can't
think he's
reinstate.
gonna
You
resign
can't.
though? Do you think he's gonna go?
Pardon,
Do you think he's gonna leave the seat?
Ruto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Let me give you a brief. I was I was sharing to someone,
Yeah.
the state of the nation. When do you remember when we went on protest and we invaded the parliament?
Yes.
Now let me give you a snippet. I'm live. I'm giving you this is I think
Okay.
for the first time I'm giving it on live on air. I'm sharing it on a huge
Okay.
platform.
Okay.
Now this is an insight. When the Gen Zs we went to the streets and invaded the parliament.
Okay.
It was a very big deal worldwide, not even nationally, worldwide.
Right.
Why am I saying this? Because it got Ruto unprepared. He was not prepared for anything.
Right.
Remember, the government is Ruto and his deputy are not in good terms.
Mm-hmm.
They are not seeing eye to eye. They're kind of having a setbacks.
Right.
So when we invade, when the Gen Zs invaded the parliament, it got the it got the government in shock. They were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Wow, we never anticipated they're going to get to this level. They never expected it." And one thing with the government is that they are kind of the other leaders who fall under the deputy president side and other who fall on the president's side. So this
Okay.
is an insight I got that when we invaded the parliament, in terms of security and in terms of the state, it the president was in shock. He never knew who to consult. He never knew who to call. He never knew what to do. He was worried and scared. That's why he gave out that evening. He gave out a press saying that we are
Prisoners and criminals.
and terrorists, kind of treason action. I
Terrorists.
remember. Do you remember? Yeah, you do remember he
Yeah.
giving out such a statement. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
So based on that, from my insight, if the Gen Zs would have continued with the protest,
Mm-hmm.
that's Tuesday. Then
Yeah.
we continue with the protest on Wednesday, and then Thursday. Trust me, by Friday, the president will have been out of the seat.
Are you
Why?
sure? Are you
Because
really sure
yes,
about
yes, yes. Yes, yes. I'm speaking with confidence because I know where I get my insight. I don't speak on rumors. I'm speaking on something that I've really done my research. I consulted some of the deep states. I won't mention to which level. For my security purposes, I don't want to be nikuja kusalimiwa kidogo
that?
with the
Okay.
state. But from the ground that I'm sitting on, it was that serious that it would have, if it would have gone to that extent, the president would have stepped down. And if
Okay.
he would have not stepped down, then the country will be in a different state. So the
Mm-hmm.
president is a bit lucky. The Gen Zs we go on strike, and we give him a relaxed period, like a halftime, a 45 minutes. Let's go back to the football game. A 45,
Okay.
15 minutes break. So on Wednesdays, it's kind of a 15 minutes break for him to re-strategize what action to take, on what to consult and what not to do. So as per now, I think he's prepared. When he sees we are going to occupy parliament, we're going to occupy everywhere. I think
Airport
he's kind of prepared, but
tomorrow.
not well. Yeah, yeah, I'm talking of tomorrow. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how well prepared he is because the Gen Zs will just surprise you. You never know whatever we are going to do. You never know what our actions we are going to do
Yeah.
because there's nothing else. We basically, like, I can tell you for sure. Like for me, I have nothing else to lose. I have nothing to lose. Yes,
Okay.
I have my own family. Yes, I'm feeding on them. They're all supporting. They're all dependent on me. But
Right.
when it comes to their security and a peace
Yeah.
of mind, I'm willing to fight for them
Okay.
to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it's kind of serious when the Gen Zs want to do something and they focus on it. I'll give out a very big shout out to all the Gen Zs in the building. Kindly
Mm-hmm.
please, if you're going to do it, let's do it with one heart. Let's not go rogue. Let's do it peacefully, and it's going to make an what? It's going to shake up something. Huh?
Right.
Basically, the cabinet secretaries he appointed the last week on Friday. It does not mean that they are going to be the cabinet secretaries yet,
Mm-hmm.
because they have to go through the parliament. That kind of crap.
Yeah.
But we can also claim that we don't want these people. We want fresh ideas. We don't want the oldie people. We want
Yeah.
fresh ideas. There are people who are outside here. They are age of 35 years, but they think like people who have lived this earth like 90 years. We want such a
Mm.
people in that state, people who know whatever they are doing. So the Gen Zs tomorrow, kindly please, let's turn up.
Right.
I'm willing. So I'm saying it loud. Let's turn out tomorrow. Team Wayaki Way. Me, I'm coming from Wayaki Way. I've stated
Hey,
where I have allowed to say where.
Wayaki. I used to live
Team
there.
Wayaki Way. Team Wayaki Way. Let's move. Let's march to town. Let's go to Uhuru Park. Let's go and state whatever we want. We have already told him
Right.
we don't want the old faces who don't know whatever they are doing. They're coming to learn their work at the
Right.
office. We don't need such. We need people who know whatever they are doing.
Mm.
Yes.
Isn't it funny? Because I was having this conversation with one of some official, actually in the government. The way we met was just, I can say, just divine. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and bring this person to like my show, and let's talk about his take in regards to dissolving the parliament. You know what he said? He's like,
Mhm.
you know what? I don't think corruption will ever end because it's so much in Kenya. You know, he's confident with his suit in his big TX there, and I'm like, why do you think so? What's your take on dissolving the parliament? It's like, I don't think everybody should leave this position. Just a little bit of people who are practicing corruption, but corruption will not end like 100%. Yeah. And I'm like, the fact that he's talking about it, maybe he's also participating in this corruption because he was very confident in regards to corruption will not end, and the fact that actually he cannot appear on my show because he cannot not just appear on my show talking about this. You know, I tried to really convince him, but he's like, if you want a personal opinion, I'm just gonna be giving it to you, but not on live TV or live radio. So
Uh,
I believe some of them really know what's really happening. Not even, they actually know what's happening inside.
let me say this. Corruption, to some extent, I also do support him. It will never end because corruption openly appears in weird places. Let
Right.
me ask you a very good example on matters of corruption.
Hmm.
Uh, when a child cries and you're in a meeting, you try to to tell the child keep quiet. Okay, nyamaza baba, nyamaza mama, but things go worse and worse. The child refuses. You tend to remove a sweet from your pocket
Yeah.
to give it to the child so that he keeps quiet. Is that not corruption?
Yeah. It
Basically,
is.
you're bribing this kid from
Hmm.
demanding whatever he or she wants for your own peace of mind. I
Right.
don't know if you get my point. Huh?
I get your
So
point.
basically, if we are to stop corruption, then let's stop corruption from the way, from back in the roots, huh?
Hmm.
To kill our dog. Eh? Let's start from there. But in the government, literally, I'll say we can't stop it.
I agree. It's possible.
It's possible, but it's a bit also kind of impossible.
Why do you say that?
It's a kind of a 50. I'll say yes, and to some extent, I'll come and say no.
Okay, your point on no first, and then we go to the yes.
With the no, it's kind of. Have you ever got? Do you know we are all humans, and most of us are Africans, basically in Kenya. We
Okay.
tend to look for shortcuts. How
Oh,
come where does the shortcut come? It comes when you want to a service, and someone tells you wait on this line, you'll be served.
hold up. You
Most of
said,
us are not.
I'm so sorry, before
Most
you
of
continued, you said most of us are Africans,
yeah.
and then you said, why did you say that? Is it
Uh,
because you're easily, there's the love of money, or why did you say that in regards to
Yeah, yeah,
Africa?
yeah, 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 yeah. We actually not even for the love of money, but basically most of us are not patient for us to be served. I don't know if you get up, if you get my point. If it
I'm
comes
not
to in matter of services, huh?
Uh-huh.
If it comes to matters of services, we tend to get poor services, and that's why we are fighting all this reshuffle in the government so that we get proper services. But if we get poor services, it means we are going to be spearheading corruption because you'll be told you're trying to get your driver's license and you're told you're number 5618. You don't know
Okay.
when you're going to get your license,
Mm-hmm.
and someone comes and tells you, why don't you give me 1,000 shillings? I'll skip you the line and get your license in the next 30 minutes. Which one will you prefer? Wait for these 5,000 plus people to be served first,
Mm-hmm.
or give out this 1,000 shillings for you to be served first? I
Right.
don't know if you get my point.
I'm
The same
listening.
thing that was happening. The same thing that was happening in Nyaya House. So whatever, when it comes to corruption, it can that's in terms of bad governance, bad service. So if we stop bad governance and bad service, it means we are going to get good service and good governance. Whatever was happening at Nyayo House the previous few months ago, that passports we could not you could not access your passport easily. There's a lot of queue. It means there was someone who was not working it in that office.
But
There's
don't you
an
think it's
incompetent person.
because, sorry, it's because of the urban colonization that it's still happening right now behind this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
glistening faces?
Pardon?
Behind the glistening faces that we know, like we have the best leaders, but we don't have the best leaders.
Yeah, I can always say you can be a boss, but you will never be a boss. There's always someone who's going to manipulate you there. Either you like it or not. There's always someone who knows how to shut you down.
But
So
it's so you basically agree that Ruto is like really not really in control of this country,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Way back from the way Jomo Kenyatta took over from the colonizers, from
That's
Queen
what I'm.
Elizabeth.
That's way from Jomo. We never had any independence.
Yeah.
Jomo was a, he was a corrupt moron that they put in. That's every African country. That's why all Africa has been completely robbed and stolen from.
Yeah.
So it's not just Kenya. It's all African countries. Black
Right.
Africa, the big example.
Once you are colonized, you will never have your freedom. That's ever. You will take it to the bank.
Right.
Yeah. Not unless you fight for it. Not unless you. But
Yeah.
Kenya's finally doing that. So you didn't have the educational prowess. You didn't have enough smart individuals to really actually get free like you do now. Understand the system. So imagine these individuals that they put in power. They were already corrupt. They didn't understand how the system works, even the world works. They just, oh, I get my bigger piece of the rice bowl. I get to be the.
Welcome
How the
back
world
again,
works.
Keith.
Oh, am I? Did I go out?
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine coming out of colonialism. They are so-called colonialism. They pick their puppet, and he doesn't know anything. He just, oh, I'm going to be a leader, and I'm going to they're going to make me a president. They're going to give me a few shillings and make my family rich. He doesn't know he's enslaving the country because he's an idiot and he's corrupt to begin with. That's how Africa was designed, from Nigeria to Ghana to Kenya to all African countries. They were all set up to be still enslaved by the white colonial powers. It was never set up to let Africa go because Africa is the richest continent on the planet. So understand, when they got Africa is when the European finally became wealthy. They've always been impoverished. Their history is being impoverished. If they told you is a lie. So now the Africans have finally caught up, especially in Kenya, to understand what systems are we under? Who rules us? Why don't we have any goddamn money? Why are we broke? Why are we poor? If we send the richest continent on the planet, how are Africans poor? It doesn't, the paradigm doesn't make any sense. How can I be on the richest continent on the planet and be the poorest people on the planet?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I got Africans trying to flee the continent to go to Europe and the Middle East, and I'm the one sitting on all the riches.
Mm.
So these puppets don't want you to ask these questions, because they've got their cut at the expense of the other Africans. All that money's been shipped out of Africa. Like I explained to Joby, if I'm coming to dig your well, Irritar, let's say, I'm telling you as an example how ignorant the Africans been. So you need a well dug, Irritar. I'm coming to give you my services in digging a well, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna employ me to dig the well, but you're not gonna employ me to keep the goddamn well water in perpetuity and call it my own, and now sell the well water back to you.
Yeah.
That's what's been happening in Africa. Absolute lunacy. Talking about investors. Africa doesn't need no fucking investors. You have everything there. Sound crazy as cat shit, but that's what they told the African because he was, raised in ignorance. Go ahead, you guys got it.
Right. Thank you so much, Keith.
Should I add a comment on that?
Sure.
Of course.
Now, I do agree with you, bro. How really I wish you will come and join us tomorrow so that we liberate from this slavery. Basically, we Africans, we tend to be controlled and we don't know. Do you remember what Muammar Gaddafi was done?
Yeah, Muammar Gaddafi was trying to. I want you guys, don't praise Muammar Gaddafi, guys. What he was doing was actually good. Don't praise this no good Arab. Understand, Muammar Gaddafi was part of the killing. That's why he tried to apologize to Africans. Let me explain Muammar Gaddafi so you guys don't get a great appeal for him. Remember, all those countries were African countries. Those people you see there today are invaders. Those are African lands that they invaded and enslaved Africans, black people, okay? The Africans. All those countries, Morocco, Libya, Algeria, Egypt, those people are foreigners. They're invaders. That's why you see in the southern part of all those countries, you still see the Africans that didn't flee the country. They're still there. So Gaddafi had tried to wipe out those African people. So, a lot of people don't know that. But what Gaddafi did do, is take the resources of the country and help it benefit its people. So when I went to Libya, I'm tell you the truth: free education, free housing. You got a stipend every year from the government because of the oil resources that were shared. Free medical. So you got all these things because the country's resources benefit the people. So, and Gaddafi never took any IMF loans because he didn't need them. Just like any other African country don't need them. But they don't want to exploit the white Arab as much as they do the African because understand they got a racial pyramid scheme. It's only when Gaddafi became a threat, talking about uniting Africa under him. Now, you don't unite Africa under no Arab. The Africans rule Africa, not the goddamn Arab. The Africans going to rule Africa, not no fucking Gaddafi. But he became a threat because he was talking about creating one currency that would destroy the Rothschilds' fake dollar, their fake banking scam. Used African resources to back an African gold dinar. So that would have destroyed the West. They weren't going to allow that. They would destroy the West and China. Destroyed all of them. They weren't going to allow that to happen. So they came in to kill them. They weren't going to allow that. Their wealth is based on Africa. So they weren't going to allow that. So what Gaddafi did was smart. But you never see none of these other nigger puppets in Africa, the black ones, ever take that back up. Because they're puppets. They're not going to do it. That was free Africa. But you didn't hear none of them say Gaddafi was right. We're going to do that since they killed Gaddafi. None of them. Because they know the white man don't want them to do that and it'll be a bullet in their head. Because none of them care about Africa. All they get their little piece of the pie and keep Africa impoverished. The Africa's not poor. It's been impoverished. So Gaddafi doing that was a threat to global power, global hegemony, the white man's rule. But see, I want Africans to go crazy about Gaddafi. Gaddafi was not your friend. Okay? Because he made some fake apology, and Airtime can look this up. Put us up, Airtime. Say, put us up on YouTube. Say, Gaddafi apologizes to Africans about Arabic treatment towards Africa and his treatment towards Africa. See, he's always scared that the African was going to wake up, start knowing what kind of fucked up individual he was to black people. He was. Because black people don't know, they don't know any geopolitical. Say Gaddafi apologizes to black Africans about the Arab treatment of Africans, including himself. I'll just put that in there, including himself, because he's responsible for genocide of black Africans in Libya. See, those people are invaders, and the African now has not been taught real history anymore to know this. They just, oh, look at Gaddafi. Fuck Gaddafi. Gaddafi was not your friend. But Gaddafi did show you that if you united Africa, you would be the dominant. You would dominate the globe again, like you once did before colonialism. Yeah, the pop up. I apologize.
The African leadership says, I'd like to condemn, apologize, and express my deep sorrow.
Exactly. Because he was afraid. Pause for a second. His ass too. As he was trying to make this African unit, because you understand, this is still to put the Arabs over top of the African. And motherfucker, Africans are going to rule Africa, not no fucking Arab. The African to rule Africa, not no goddamn Arabs. So that was his goddamn scam he was running. He know most Africans were still stupid. And Levin just don't know shit. So he was doing a counter action here because he was scared that some Africans were going to start looking at his fucking past and the Arab treatment of Africans, how they got there. Most Africans already know that those motherfuckers up north are invaders. They think those people always been in Africa. They have not. Those are all African lands. That's why it's called Africa and not Arabia. Those are stolen lands.
Yeah.
And none of those motherfuckers have been African people's friends. They've enslaved Africans, whipped Africans, hung Africans, organ harvesting Africans today. So He was doing this because he was scared that some Africans did know his wicked ass past. He was trying to, this is what you call trying to counteract anybody that would come out and speak against him. So this is called protective measures he's doing. I said, I apologize. Some Arabs and what Arabs have done him too. But go ahead, you're trying to play.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna play that video.
Especially the wealthy among them, towards their African brothers. The wealthy Arabs treated their African brothers in a disgraceful way in the past.
ممارسة مخجلة اتجاه إخوانهم الأفارقة حيث
They brought children and took them to North Africa,
وجلبوهم
to the Arabian Peninsula, and to the other Arab regions.
بقية المناطق العربية اللي تقع بين هذين الإقليمين واستعبدوهم.
They subjugated them and traded in them in the most brutal fashion, to tell you the truth. They engaged in slavery and in human trafficking.
He was scared that you would start knowing this. The brutality, this no good, wicked ass Arab. He's been just as bad as this white man. Been no better, even worse. So he was. This is just a preemptive strike because he was afraid he was going to get called out for the wicked. This wicked shit right now in Libya since he's gone, because they've always been wicked towards African people.
Right.
So he was just covering his own ass because he still wanted to make the Arab in control of Africa. Go ahead, finish up here, John.
Okay.
In the most brutal fashion, to tell you the truth. We are ashamed, along with the African brothers, when we recall
They're not ashamed of shit.
We are ashamed of those who behaved in this manner, and especially the wealthy Arabs, who viewed the African brothers as inferior slaves. This is no different from the way the West, America, and Europe
No shit.
behaved towards the Africans.
No shit. And you haven't stopped still. It's still the same way in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. You haven't stopped in Morocco, in Libya. It hasn't stopped. So, yeah, it hasn't stopped today. There's enslavement right now of Africans in Libya today. There's organ harvesting in Libya today. So that shit he's saying was just to appease the Africans, because he knew some Africans knew their rotten history. Like most Africans don't know. They go, oh, Gaddafi. Motherfuck Gaddafi. Fuck this no good Arab. They burning whatever fake hell he believes in. This wicked nigga, wicked cracker, Arab, whatever he calls himself, had suicide raids against African people in southern Libya. Genocide campaigns. So he fixed his fake ass mouth talking that stupid shit to the dumbass African. I'm not one of the dumb Africans. I know his history. This rotten bastard. That's why he's saying it. We would have been so more rotten than the European. Yeah. No shit. You committed genocide against African people in Libya. You did. Gaddafi, you did it. Don't ever bring no Gaddafi in my face talking about he wanted to help Africans. Shit. Nah. He wanted to unite African for the Arab, because the witches of Africa would benefit his no good fake ass. So I didn't like that they murdered his ass, but I didn't give a shit one way or another. Because all African people should take the resources of their country to benefit their people. That's what he did. It didn't benefit Africans, it benefited the Arabs who stole that land from the Africans. So, you know, I don't think they should have murdered his ass, but it was no skin off my goddamn nose, because that Libya wasn't for African people no way. They had stolen it generations ago. But African people can do the same thing as Gaddafi, I'm saying. And all their resources can have everybody in the country. Kenya's wealthy. All African nations are wealthy beyond your belief. Wealthy! So no African be poor ever.
I agree.
From Kenya to Ghana to Nigeria, wherever you find yourself at. Congo, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Botswana, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Chad, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal. No African country should be impoverished. None. Because every last one of them is wealthy. And you were wealthy before this European attacked your shores and stole my motherfucking people out the Congo. You were wealthy. So no African from Kenya to any place else should be impoverished, should be struggling. Because you sit on vast, immense resources. That's why they got puppets in it. That's why they want to kill you. That's why they don't want you to wake up. That's why they tell you got school fees. Yeah, I told you. You never thought about you only got school fees in Africa? School is free around the world. They want to keep you dumb and religious. I hate to say you want to talk about that Catholic. I'm not going about the religion. That's mind control shit. But
the school fees that we're paying, the education is crap.
yeah, it's fucked up. And you're paying for it. Barely can make a living and you're paying for it. That's why when I first hired Joe to teach about school is free. School is free everywhere but Africa. You thought you wonder why that is? You know why only Africans pay school fees from Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, all these other countries? Because because you're supposed to be stupid. And you know why you're the only people that got religious doctrine as part of your education? Right. Nowhere on the planet, except for maybe some of the Arabic fucked up countries, nowhere on the planet where you be teaching religion in school. That's a belief, not a fact. You don't teach that shit in school. If you want to teach your Christianity and your Islam, teach that shit in your house, not in your schools. In America, it is illegal to teach that shit. If you want to teach Christianity, teach it in your fucking home. But in Africa, it's all mandatory because it's indoctrination. That's why it's mandatory in Africa and anywhere else on the planet. It's illegal to teach that shit in school. You're supposed to be learning research and development. How do things work? How does mining work? How do I benefit my country by understanding how mining works? Or research and development, giving young kids the mental capacity to invent their way out of poverty. Since Africans are the smartest people on the planet, if you give them a real educational system, they will invent their way out of poverty. You're not giving that. Get a 4-year, 5-year-old child, their minds is a sponge. And teach them how to research and development. 20 years. Every invention you need will be created by the youth. The white man knows that. Think you got fucking school fees and backward ass education in Africa. That's on purpose. Because you can rule easily over ignorant population who's caught in religious shit. I'm gonna pray. Let's pray for good governance. Let's pray for shit to change, and don't shit ever changes. Because you constantly praying like a moron. Because that's a belief system that was given to you by some wicked motherfuckers. He's talking about the Catholic Church, one of the most wickedest motherfucking things on the planet. Wickedest shit. Africa don't even know how the Catholic Church even came into being. This wicked ass system. And you can't get a clean thing out of an unclean thing. Do this for me, Eriton. What is up? Say in the 15th century, the Catholic Pope say all black people are supposed to be enslaved and will be. This they stupid ass Pope that these niggas in Africa run around be worshiping and shit. You know how wicked this institution was from the inception, how it gets started. See, I can say that because I know history. You can't give me no thing. I know how the shit was created. Say in the what that be? Yeah, that means say the 15th century, the Pope The Pope passes an edict, it we call a papal bull, that reduces all Africans into slavery. No matter where they find them, you're to put Africans in slavery, whether they believe in your stupid ass religion or not.
The Pope passed the bill.
Just say in the 15th century,
Hmm.
the Pope says all Africans will be enslaved. Just do that. I'm gonna make it simple for you. It's called a papal bull. It means an edict by this dumbass Pope.
Okay.
He called black people Saracens. It might say Saracens. That's African. All Saracens are to be reduced to slavery, no matter where you find his ass at.
It's basically there's just Pope Nicholas.
Yeah, Pope Nicholas the Fifth, wasn't it? Is it the fifth? I think it's Pope Nicholas the Fifth. This wicked ass motherfucking crack. This wicked ass white motherfucker. They were all homosexuals. The Jesus you worship is his damn son. All that old fake ass shit.
It says
Yeah.
Pope Paul
Right,
Paul the
yeah.
Third issues a decree, subliminous dues, opposing the enslavement of indigenous peoples and calling them true men. Is that it?
No, I don't know what you read.
Okay, it
You
says,
guys,
did the Pope ever own slaves? Is that it?
is Africans will be put to
That's what it
slavery.
brought.
Okay, yeah, that's probably whatever. I don't know how they word it, but yeah. This by your fake ass Catholic Church that Africans that they got. Catholic Church stole more land in Africa than any other organization. That's why they're the number one landholders in Africa of stolen land. Okay?
Right.
They went and stole land in Africa except this fake ass church of lies and duplicity. So shout out to a lot of you in Africa understand going back and research that the church is fake anyway. It was a thing of conquered through Constantine when they first created the Catholic Church. It wasn't the Catholic Church yet. I told you it started in Turkey. It was Constantinople. That's your first church, Hagia Sophia. And then they split up when the Hagia Sophia falls to the Turks. Then it becomes the seat of Christianity goes on to Rome, to Western Rome becomes the Catholic Church as they split it up because you got these factions. You got the Orthodox. They have a schism in the 10th century because they don't believe in no fucking Pope. I said, motherfucker, ain't nobody gonna be no head of no church. What is you talking about, right? So they was arguing with all this. First thing I told you, they was arguing about when they was making this shit up. They was arguing about the tenets for almost 1,000 years of what's gonna be accepted, what's not. Because they were making this shit up. Is this Jesus motherfucker a god or he's not a god? That's how they created Islam. People don't know that the Catholic Church created the Islamic faith because they couldn't get the dumb white Arab to accept the Jesus shit. They're like, nah, because I showed you the white Arab was illiterate. So were white people. Most white people, Arabs were illiterate. These are facts. They couldn't read or write. The African was only literate people on the planet back then. So they couldn't so they trying to conquer these dumbass white Arabs with this Jesus shit. They wouldn't accept it. So they just said, okay, we're going to make this fake motherfucker named Muhammad up and say he's one of them. And like I told you, it shows you that Muhammad could not read or write because that's their history. They couldn't read or write. So how could this motherfucker write a Quran that he couldn't read?
Yeah.
So that was the way to cut. Go ahead.
Backfire. Yeah. Amazing insight about Gaddafi, though, Walter. You learned about Gaddafi because I did learn about it. That was like, even if my brother was telling me about it, how like everything nasty that he did to Africans. So yeah, more information about that, Walter. What's your last?
Well, your father knew. Most Africans don't know.
Yeah, he did. That was like 2-4 years ago, even before I understood everything about.
Cool. Yeah, I'm surprised your father know because most Africans put Gaddafi on a pedestal. No, Gaddafi was no friend to the Africans. What he would do, he would use soft power to try to turn African countries Islam by building mosques and pretending he's helping them. That's called soft power to
Yeah.
influence the minds of Africans. But low key, he thought Africans were stupid and fucked up. That's what he really believed. But he comes to,
Right.
oh, I'm sorry. If you ever knew, I thought you were fucked up. No, he
Right.
never changed that. That's why when he died, Libya today is a slave hub.
Right.
That every African leader today should have been invaded Libya to stop the slavery up there of their African brothers.
Right.
We go ahead, you guys go.
Yeah, because Walter, before you give your last say, when I even before I say before, I even researched or because I didn't want anything to do with politics or the government. But every time I heard the name Gaddafi, I knew he like he was a mean person to the African people. That's what I knew about like when I had the name Gaddafi. I'm like, that guy was mean and brutal to the Africans, you know. Anyways, your last take in regards to this conversation, a new and better Africa. Walter, I can see General Mosquito. Thank you so much for joining. You're saying, hey, happy born day, brother Keith. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Blackout Fire. Good timing.
Yeah, I forgot it
Good
was my
timing.
damn. I forgot it
Oh
was my
my!
damn birthday.
How did you forget? How do you forget about your birthday?
I don't know. I don't. I forgot about it. Shout out to my firstborn kid. Keith told me, Dad, hey, it's your birthday. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Fuck it.
Alrighty. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Much love, family.
Much
I always
love.
use. I guess. Hold on. I gotta give Eric an apology live because I never knew. I said her and her parents lived in a bubble. Her dad knew Gaddafi wicked ass. What he done to black people. Most black people don't know. They celebrate Gaddafi, not knowing he couldn't stand you niggas. Okay?
Yay!
He did. You didn't never understood this. You're like, oh, what he did for his people. Those were his people, not us, not you and me. That was his people, not you, not me. Okay? He waged war against us. He waged war against the African people. Okay? Him coming out now, I'm sorry for what I did. We were worse than the Europeans. Motherfucker, you just covering your own ass. Because black people started to know how fucked up you were at the time. And you were trying to make a confederation of Africans underneath him. See, that's the thing. It was underneath his ass.
Right.
So much love, family.
Apology accepted, Keith.
I apologize. It's my fault.
Thank you so much.
Shout,
You've made my
shout,
day.
shout out to Eriton's daddy. Shit. I'm
Hey,
surprised. Much
that's what's up.
love.
Much love. General Mosquito saying Guayaquil must be a very popular area. It comes up in every conversation. Then he says, just eat your food, brother. Enjoy yourself. I think, Walter, you're eating something. And then he said, Iruchan, your guest really enjoying his plate of ugali. Okay, I can see that. General
was he
Mosquito,
was he Nugali? No,
what were you thinking,
no,
Walter?
no Ugali for me. I'm good. I don't like it. You,
He
you
says the
keep that.
Arab will do the same thing the Europeans have been doing. Gaddafi hugged a few black people, and all of a sudden he's a hero. A Kenyan named
Yeah,
Walter.
but
That's a new.
that's what the Africans don't know the history to the mosquito. They love other people
No,
besides non-Africans.
he
So,
says Walter
but
has been
but
good to us.
Eriton knew. Eriton's daddy knew. Don't trust a big butt and a smile. He knew.
Yeah, so I definitely knew every time I heard the name Gaddafi, I knew he was a mean and brutal person towards Africans. That's what I knew because I
Yeah,
was,
he
yeah,
was.
yeah,
I'm surprised. See, but most Africans don't. To shout your dad, most Africans don't know that information. Eriton. They think
right.
Gaddafi's some kind of hero because he did right by his people, which he did. But
Fact.
they conflate that him doing right by his people is that he's gonna do right by Africans. He couldn't stand our black ass.
Mhm. That's a
That's why he
fact.
sitting. That's why he was sitting there apologizing. I'm
For
sorry.
sure.
We was brutal to you niggas.
Very brutal. Did some nasty stuff to African people.
Yes,
Honestly,
he did. Yes, he
never,
did.
never liked hearing his name. Oh, definitely, honestly. Walter, your last take as we wind up.
Now, oh, I thought my mic was muted. So let me. I was just confirming it. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Now, my last take. My point was the ideology of Gaddafi not getting help from the Western countries or from the Western side of the world is the same ideology that we need as a country so that
Correct.
we can be independent.
Correct.
We we are being controlled for no good reason. But now, at the end of the day, we have nothing. We can't do nothing. As in, there's always someone behind the scene who's going to select who's going to be the president. We can have a lot of people vying for seats.
Correct.
Walter, I'm going to win the election. But during when you are going to count votes, you will hear someone else won their votes because there's
Correct.
someone who's behind that,
Yeah.
who is trying to detect us on what we are going to be doing. You see,
Correct.
and the same thing that is happening right now at the country. They never anticipated the young generation. They are going one day to speak
Exactly.
out, come out and speak their voices, and they want to be heard. They want something to be done. 1, 2, 3. They thought we are going to remain fools for the
Hmm.
rest of our life. So it has gotten them into shock. They are
That
wondering
was
what
surprise.
we
Right.
want. So the moment that we basically Kenyans, and I hope Gen Zs hear me, the moment that we Kenyans understand that we have our own resources, we can do a lot with our own resources. We don't need help from these other
No.
countries. We don't need
No. You're
loan from
rich.
World Bank.
You're rich.
But to some extent, if you think deep about it, you'll come and realize that once we start fighting for our own independence, they're going to say that the country is being funded by terrorists, and the country
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
into
That's what they gonna say. You're right. You're exactly right. That's what they go. That's the white man's ploy. Oh, this terrorists in Kenya. We must go try to help them and invade Kenya to help them. We're gonna go to help the Kenyans and their terrorism problem. Yeah, that's what they do. He's right. He's right.
So even when the president came out and gave out an accusation that we are being funded by this kind of person, it's not
Yeah.
true. People came out. Like for me personally, if I'm going tomorrow for the demonstrations, I won't
Yeah.
lie. If I meet a brother who needs to go for the demonstration and is not in a position to go, I'll just tell them, yo, bro, let's go. I'll pay for your transport. So long as we're going, we have the same ideology.
Hmm.
We have each
He
other's back. We are
he
not
he
being
knows.
funded by anybody. And if
They
you're being
know they
funded,
know that. He knows that because the people that he's talking about funding the movement are the people that's funding him. The
these
Ford
are not.
Foundation family is embedded with the Rockefeller Foundation, who helped the CIA topple governments. These are the people that invented the CIA. So the idea that they're funding the youth is absolutely absurd. And he knows that. First he said it was the Russians. It's the Russians. How's it going to be the Russians and the Ford Foundation? Which one?
They'll,
Like you
eh, they
said,
always
they're so. Go ahead. Go ahead.
they always find an excuse of blaming someone when someone is not yet even included. We don't
That's
Yeah.
even
right.
have that ideology. Like for the last few months, for the last few weeks, people came out from nowhere. During the demonstrations. People came out from nowhere. They came, dropped water at the CBD, just at the road, at the center of the road. They dropped it and went away. Do you want to tell me they were funded by somebody else?
Nah,
No, it's
nah,
the
it's
owner of
organic.
that company
That
just decided that.
they're not used to seeing this. It's
Yeah.
organic. They've never seen an organic movement this big nowhere in Africa. And like he's right, they haven't got the memo that the youth have now caught up educationally to know what's going on. And that's the shock. That's the surprise. Like, what the fuck is going on? They're not. We can't just say stupid shit and they'll believe us. We can't just say go home and pray and they'll stop it. All that's gone. See, I told you, Kenya is never going to be the same, and it's going to be the
Uh,
rest of Africa. It just is what it is.
uh,
Alrighty.
as my final word, I'll say,
Yeah.
Gen Z's tomorrow, Aluta continua, same time, same place. Peace out. We pray
That's
we
the
come
cup.
back home safely.
Of course.
We'll give gratitude to God. We are going
Thank
on
you
a
so
physical
much.
demonstration. See you next time. Newton, I hope to see you tomorrow.
That's why.
I'll,
That's why see
I'll
all.
see you.
That's why see all these puppets. Oh, you better not be doing like Kenya. You better not start it. You puppet.
I'll see you there. Definitely,
Uh,
Walter. Thank you so much for your time. Always appreciated here on the Blackout Fan Network. You're always welcome anytime. Let me know, and we'll have a great conversation about a better Africa. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
And thank you so much, Mr. Blackout Fire. Your last take, or you've already said your last take?
I always say peace. Everybody have a good day. Stay safe. Always educate yourself with right knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know, the more you know, the less you can be manipulated. So much
All
love,
right.
family.
Much love. Thank you guys for joining me here in Let's Talk with Iraton. The topic has been a new and better Africa. My guest of the day, Walter Juma and Mr. Blackhot Fire. And it's his birthday, so happy birthday again, Keith. Have a blast. More blessings, more
Happy
tidings, great,
birthday.
great opportunities. Of course. Thank you guys on TikTok. Have a great time. Walter is wishing you happy birthday, Keith.
Oh, thanks. I gotta work. Shit, I gotta work like a slave. So, no happy birthday for me.
We have a cake for you.
Okay,
Thank
disclaimer.
you guys. Much love. Have a great one. Take care of yourself tomorrow, Walter. Be safe.
Thank you.
Be safe. Thank
Yes,
you
be
guys.
safe.
Yeah.
Oh my baby, I love this for you. Give me love, you no good to me. You see your body,
What the fuck are you motherfuckers doing? That's your rabbit ass mind.
my darling, would you fly with